Hello everyone. Welcome back to Jikook Diaries, your sanctuary for everything heartfelt, emotional, and unforgettable between BTS's beloved duo, Jimin and Jungkook. Today, we bring you a story that left ARMY holding their breath and clutching their hearts. It wasn't a performance, nor was it a scripted moment. It was real, raw, and painfully human. During what was supposed to be a normal day of filming in Los Angeles, the unexpected happened. Jungkook, known for his energy, strength, and professionalism, suddenly collapsed on set. The air shifted instantly. Staff members rushed in. Managers called for medics. And amidst the chaos, one figure stood frozen for a moment: Jimin. The expression on Jimin's face said everything. Panic, fear, confusion. He pushed past crew members and cameras, eyes wide with disbelief, calling out Jungkook's name. Jungkook. The sound cracked in his throat, almost drowned by the commotion, but it carried the weight of pure, unfiltered love. He knelt beside Jungkook, holding his hand tightly, his other hand shaking as he gently touched his face, whispering softly words only Jungkook could hear. It was a scene no one ever wanted to witness. BTS are superstars, yes, but in that moment, there was no idle image, no stage, no cameras, only two people bound by something deeper than friendship. As medics began their work and Jungkook slowly regained consciousness, Jimin's tears were already flowing. Silently, uncontrollably. He wasn't just worried, he was shattered. You could see it in the way he kept brushing Jungkook's hair away from his face, murmuring, "You scared me? Don't ever do that again." Later, an insider from the set revealed that Jungkook had been pushing through an intense schedule, barely sleeping and rehearsing relentlessly. It wasn't surprising, we all know how devoted he is to giving his best. But his body had simply said, enough. What broke ARMY even more was what Jimin did afterward. He refused to leave Jungkook's side. He stayed with him through the checkups, through the rest and recovery. He didn't go back to his dressing room. He sat on a small bench, still wearing his stage clothes, eyes fixed on Jungkook as if making sure he wouldn't disappear again. Even days later, fans spotted Jimin holding Jungkook's hand in the van, their fingers intertwined, his thumb gently caressing Jungkook's skin, a silent reassurance. Jimin wasn't just being a bandmate. He was being his protector, his anchor. It reminded everyone BTS isn't just a group. They're family. And Jimin and Jungkook? There's something even deeper. As news of Jungkook's collapse spread, the BTS fandom was unified in a wave of collective worry. Armies around the world sent prayers, trended hashtags, and flooded Weverse and Twitter with heartfelt messages. But while the internet exploded in concern, the real story was unfolding quietly behind hospital walls and van windows tinted against the world's curious gaze. The next 24 hours were critical. Jungkook was placed under observation in a private Los Angeles clinic known for handling high-profile clients. Doctors confirmed that it was exhaustion and dehydration, a result of days without adequate rest, food, and mental recovery. But for Jimin, no medical term could soften the blow. He had seen it. He had felt the weight of Jungkook's body in his arms. The moment when someone so strong just fell. Insiders reported that Jimin didn't speak much that night. He simply sat beside Jungkook's bed, holding his hand, his eyes red from crying but focused. Nurses described how he'd softly hum old BTS songs, ones they used to sing during their trainee days, as if grounding Jungkook back to where it all began. He sang Promise, one nurse shared anonymously, over and over. His voice was trembling, but full of emotion. And every time he reached the line, "I want you to be your light, baby," his thumb gently stroked Jungkook's wrist like he was begging him to stay. When footage of the incident leaked, ARMY flooded social media with messages of support and concern. But one post stood out. Seeing Jimin cry like that over Jungkook was the real heartbreak. That's love. That's soul-deep connection. That's Jikook. Indeed, it was. Moments like this remind us why we love them so much. Because behind the fame, the stages, and the millions of fans, they are two young men who have weathered everything side by side. And in that moment when one fell, the other broke. And then came the message. A single post on Weverse. Just a short note from Jimin, written simply, Take care of yourself, even when you think you can't stop. Rest is not weakness. It's love. Please don't forget that. He didn't mention names. He didn't have to. Every army knew who he was talking about. Every word was soaked in emotion, in the pain of seeing someone you love push themselves too far. Fans responded with waves of purple hearts, prayers, and messages of solidarity. They were reminded of how fragile even the strongest among us can be. Then, finally, days later, Jungkook appeared in a short video. He smiled softly, tiredly but smiled nonetheless. He thanked everyone for their concern and reassured fans that he was feeling better. But the moment that broke ARMY again was when he looked off camera for a second, then turned back and said, "And thank you to someone who never left my side. You know who you are." The comments section exploded. Everyone knew. It wasn't long before the two were seen together again, walking side by side at the airport, flying home to Korea. Jimin wore a mask, oversized sunglasses, and a hoodie pulled low, but ARMY could still recognize his posture: watchful, alert, his hand occasionally brushing Jungkook's back, guiding him through the crowd. Perhaps the most beautiful thing about this entire chapter isn't just the love Jimin showed, but the healing Jungkook allowed. In a world where idols are expected to be flawless, to push through exhaustion with a smile, he broke that illusion. He fell. And in doing so, he reminded fans that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's real, it's necessary, and it's okay. And Jimin? He didn't try to fix him with false cheer. He didn't minimize the pain. He sat with him in the darkness, held his hand through the storm, and whispered light into the cracks. He showed us what it means to love someone not for what they give you, but for who they are. This isn't just about two idols. This is about Jikook, about the unspoken promises forged over years of dancing side by side, laughing through jet lag, crying in stairwells, and surviving together in an industry that rarely offers kindness. It's about two souls who found each other in a chaotic world and chose every single day to stay. So to Jungkook, your strength is not in how hard you work, but in how deeply you allow yourself to be human. And to Jimin, thank you. Thank you for showing us that the purest kind of love doesn't always scream. Sometimes, it just sits quietly beside you and refuses to leave. As we close today's chapter of Jikook Diaries, remember this wasn't just an incident. It was a reminder, a beautiful, heartbreaking reminder that even under the brightest lights, love shines best in the shadows. Thank you for joining us on this journey of emotion, vulnerability, and undeniable connection. Stay strong, Jungkook. And Jimin, thank you for showing the world what love looks like. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, add, comment this channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay close, ARMY. And remember, it's always more than just music with Jikook. See you in the next video. Purple Heart.